Hey, okay, welcome back to this impromptu session for Friday evening. We're going to do an install. We'll see how quick it is. An install for a quick install of DTOS, popularized by Derek Thomas of the known as DT. I've already set up an environment right here. So let's see if we can get this thing to work now. As always, be sure to stop by the chat session and say hi, or you can also, of course, click that subscribe button for me today. So let's see if this will boot. Let's do an install. This apparently only works with, what's it called, EFI. So let's see if this thing starts here. Interesting. Maybe it doesn't like the dynamic let me try it, the dynamic file allocation. So let's do something else here. OS, come down here, 429, other, type, Linux, other Linux 64. Let's give old DT about 16 gigabytes of RAM. Let's give him 4 processors. Hard disk, let's give him 50 gigabytes of hard drive data. And let's pre-allocate the size, because this could have been the trouble, although I don't exactly know why. Let's do this. Before I didn't have a pre-allocate the partition size, but this time we are. Well, we made it to the first prompt. You saw it said you'll hit enter to do an install, and then nothing happened. Now, could have been I just didn't wait long enough. Of course, DTOS is actually a Derek Thomas. Let's start this. Where's this? And this is his personalized Arch Linux installation with all his bells and whistles installed and stuff like that. So it says here install medium. Let's see what happens here. So we'll take a minute or two here. If nothing happens, and we'll, oh, it is starting good. Excellent. Welcome to DTOS. Well, thank you, DT. I appreciate that. DT is a really great popularizer of Linux and Arch in general, Arch Linux in particular. If you're not familiar with him, he has just a ton of really good videos, current and past, has to do with to help you get up and running on Linux. Okay. From simple things, including a whole series of videos on Doom Linux, on Doom Mac and stuff like that. Okay, set up. Let's see. DTOS install. Let's see, please select a disk. We'll select one. We're going to go to defaults here today. Disk encryption, yes, why not? Linux kernel recommended one. Let's see, US, English US, this. What's this? Keyboard lexication, US. Time zone. US Eastern. Enter host name. How's that for? My password for my of course, DT's line is always, now I'll create a strong and complicated password. Passwords do not match. Okay, this is a problem because it's not, see, the screen should clear. See, you shouldn't be seeing. Let's see, would you like to install Qtile Desktop? Yes, we would. Based on this configuration, would you like to install DT? Well, matter of fact, they would DT. Please. Now this could take maybe as long as 10 minutes, but we'll see. GPT data structures destroyed. Reflectors grabbing 20 mirrors to find out which is the fastest one to do the download from. And we got another thunderstorm rolled in around here. I'll be right back. This may take a couple of minutes. And we got some more thunderstorms rolling here across central Ohio. Looks like rain around 6, some more around 7, more around 9:30 to 10, and it looks like thunder showers from like 8:30 onward, up until 1 a.m. even. Interesting. Okay, so if you are a fan of DT, drop me a note in the chat. If you're a hardcore Linux guru like myself, drop the message in the chat. Of course, as always, click that subscribe button for me, as well as the bell icon and the like button. Okay. Now, we should mention that, in case you're not familiar with Arch Linux, Arch Linux is what's called a rolling release, meaning it's they're constantly releasing updates to your installation, security fixes, and just software update. Oh, look at this! It's doing some forfeiting the EFI partition as FAT32, creating Lurks container for root partition. Lux, of course, is the encryption function we're using here. Okay, good. Warning, data file core extra not exist, so it's now installed a bunch of stuff. Proceeding with installation, checking keys and key rings, processing package changes. Could not install key rings, so that's okay. Appending keys, waiting for Pac-Man. Now we're actually pulling in the installation, as you can see. Bin utils. Did you hear the big news out of them? How should I put this? Out of them nut jobs over at the one distribution to go replace the core utils with which are perfectly fine, nothing to be gained with the Rust version. Of course, there is, and the question is why. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. And the GNU, of course, that also means it's not going to be released under the GNU license. Of course, you also you see what two languages in a row: Perl 5.4.2, OpenSSL. You also saw GCC 15.1, get text, graph, SQLite, text info, gutils, Ubuntu. For whatever reason, Ubuntu is replacing GNU core utilities. I mean, all the things that make Linux and Unix Linux, make it an X, they're replacing them with Rust versions. And the question is why? Are they going to be faster? Are they going to take up less space? What's the reason for that? Pac-Man, System D. Of course, some people love to hate System D. Obviously, DT isn't one of those. We're getting close. What else has been installed here? Installing a bunch of stuff. grep, licenses, curl. Curl is a command line utility. If you don't know, it's a command utility that allows you to download stuff from the internet from using URL. Adding keys for archlinux.gpg. GPG is a very old encryption program. I'm honestly not quite sure how to use it, but it's been around for a long. Arch Linux keyring, Arch Linux GPG, setting owner, installing a bunch of stuff for base, dependencies for base support, DB53, AutoConf, AutoMake, Jansen, Bison, XXHash, FakeRoot, Flex, LiveTools, Guile, Patch, which is an interesting one, which allows you to, I think it allows you to assign sort of like a different smart key or a different super key, I think. It's used Python, of course, 3.13, way to go, and VIM runtime 9.1.1337. Grub, which is your boot manager. rsync. What else we got there? Starship allows you to create custom prompts inside your shells. Vim, Zarn, let's see, FastFetch, NeoFetch. I think FastFetch is the replacement for NeoFetch. And what NeoFetch, HTOP was there also, and what NeoFetch it gave you a real nice screen full of summary of your system, the processors, memory, the terminal you're using, the Linux system you're using, and all these other things, okay? NSS, MAN, of course, PCRE, network managers to manage your network connections, BAT's interesting. I know that Fish, of course, is one of DT's favorite shells. I know NeoVim, of course. Yes, there you go. That's Vim on steroids. For you don't know, you can go out. We can take NeoVim, then we can install Lazy Vim to get it all set up and running, right? Slang Nano is an interpreter. Like I said, FastFetch returns system information. rsync. Linux firmware. HTOP, of course. Of course, as always, like I say, don't be bashful. Stop by that chat section and let me know what you think about DTOS, okay? Okay, while we're sitting here, what I'm going to do is, just in case you don't know, we'll go over and we'll look at old DT, okay? Look at old DT's channel, okay? So you see exactly who this rascal is, okay? Library data, let's see, subscriptions, space videos, DistroTube. There you go. Here's old DT's channel. He's the mastermind, the evil genius behind DTOS. Okay, there you go. All right. So go by, drop a subscribe on DT and tell him that Caribou Data Science sent you. Okay. High color Linux firmware again. OS Prober Tree Splitter. Tree Splitter is a it displays what does it do? It displays a file tree, but it's mainly used, I think, inside of Emacs. There's a similar thing. It's very popular inside of NeoVim also. It may in fact be Tree Splitter, but anyway. That's what Tree Splitter is. It puts a horizontal window to the left, and it displays your file tree inside of it. Okay. EFI Boot Manager, Chaotic Keyring, installing Owner Trust. What else? Fish again, installing Fish. So I wonder if it downloads all the packages and then installs it. It's Perl Era. Here's a question for you guys. Do you use Perl? I mean, Perl kind of got left in the dust when scripting language shifted from general scripting language to data science, like R and Python. Python started out as a very simple, as a general scripting language. Okay, similar to Perl, except Python's probably a better scripting language than Perl. Okay, there's actually an interesting kind of humorous story about Perl and Python. Okay, Perl's motto is supposedly there's more than one way to do things. Well, Guido de Russin, the creator of Python, said there's more than one. He said that Python's motto is there's more than one way to do things, but there's only one good way to do it. And that's Python's model. Okay. Warning: missing firmware for module AST. Base, UDEV, microcode, thunderstorm rolling in. That's right. Let's take a look here. Can we look at the weather? Seafood forecast. I'm in central Ohio. Let's see something here. Heavy rain. And this is kind of interesting, isn't it? Open map. Let's see what this weather's looking like in Ohio. Okay, so we do have some storms right over Columbus right now. Okay, we got some storms out to the west. Look at this huge storm out over Prince Edward Island. Okay, so there you go. So there's your weather forecast. Okay, FSCK is your file system checkers. Most of these things are installed because they're for specific, probably like specific, driver or specific software packages and stuff, and firmware packages. Okay, creating ZSTD compressed NCPO image. Error cannot process. Proceed with installation. What do you mean proceed? What have you been doing all this time? What have you been doing? I thought you were installing all this time. So, in case you don't know, DT is, I'm going to say currently using, because he could change it. He's currently using a tiling window manager called Qtile, and it's written in Python. If you go to his channel, he has a whole playlist with tiling window manager. He used i3W before. He's used what's it called, DWM or DT, or suckless window manager, tiling window manager. He's used what else has he used? He's used awesome window manager, tiling window manager before. He will also install a pop-up menu thing called ROF, ROUF, something like that. We just got these messages before, same thing. Possibly missing firmware for module, that's true. Now let's see something here. Of course, be sure to check out my other channels also. I have a channel now. It's called quadratic analysis. Okay. And what it is, it's devoted to using Quadratic HQ's AI-powered spreadsheet. Okay. Just let me show you that.
We should be live.
DT, you crazy guy.
Welcome to another edition of DT Live.
Let's go to my channel here.
Gonna be
And here data made simple. Explore insights, trends, and analytics within the future of spreadsheets using Quadratic HQ's AI. So I'll drop this in there for you. Like I say, it's all about using. It's all about using Quadratic's AI-powered spreadsheet to analyze different sets of data. So I'll drop this in there for you also, okay? Give me a moment while I check my stocks here also, okay? So I also have my main channel, okay, which is a Caribou Data Science channel, and I have a lot of videos on there. But I began to put some videos up there on doing stock analysis using an R package called QuantMod, which predates TinyQuant. And it may be that the person who wrote TinyQuant also wrote QuantMod. Now QuantMod is no longer being maintained, but it doesn't make a difference. All the core functions, the plotting, the data pulling stuff, that's still the same. Okay, that's still the same. So that doesn't really matter. Okay. VLC is an audio video player, I believe. This also is a FFmpeg is a video player, I believe. Emacs 30.1, there we go. Noto, Mesa, I think Mesa is a video driver of some type. Brave is a browser. DTTOS DM scripts. ImageMagick is used to display magic. GTK, of course, is a graphics library to create desktops. And of course, as always, if you're in the background, by all means, stop by the channel and say hi, okay? I'd appreciate it a great deal. And of course, share the channel with one of your friends this week, okay? SDDM, what is SDDM? I know that name, I just can't label what it is. Of course, one of the features of DTOS is it will have DT's personally tweaked Doom Emacs installation, okay? Awata XCD bind. Bind's interesting. Bind is the DNS server, okay? Now there are people who say, well, Linux isn't a good desktop. Well, I say Linux was never a desktop operating system. Desktop operating systems like Windows, it doesn't have web servers built into it. It doesn't have database servers built into it. It doesn't have DNS servers into it. Windows 11 isn't meant to have more than one person using it at a time. And for you youngsters, to also tell you, the internet as it exists today, okay, wouldn't exist without Linux. And specifically, what the acronym LAMP, L-I-M-P, that's Linux, Apache Web Server, MySQL Server, and PHP. That revolutionized the web. That's why you can get a website with a database back end and a WordPress site for less than $20 a month, maybe as low as $10 a month. That's the reason that's there. Okay. Of course, at the risk of aging myself, I can remember when the Linux kernel turned 1.0. Okay, I can remember when the libraries changed from an A.out format to an L format. Okay, I can remember back when I had like 2 hours a month for my web service gave me 2 hours a month of time. Okay, or something like 2 or 3 hours a month. That's what it got you. Then lo and behold, someone's like, "Hey, you can have as much as you want." It's like, holy crap, I can have as much internet time as I want. So I switched services. I also remember back when the internet consisted of Gopher pages and bulletin boards. Okay, if you don't know what Gopher is, go out and check DT's playlist on that, and also check my playlist. Okay. Gopher was a very interesting thing. It was a text-based service, web page server, and you can put images in it, but it wasn't like you actually had a domain and you're running your own services and stuff like that. DT Max, there you go, installing DT Max. That's his personal version of tweaked version of Emacs, which uses the main feature is, of course, what? Well, it uses the evil keybind. It uses the Vim key bindings, plus the way you actually, instead of using the super key to execute a command, you use a space bar. Okay. Yeah, DT's a good guy. He's a good guy. I mean, he puts up a lot of really good Linux content. Okay, and he also puts up a lot of people also. But yeah, he puts up a lot of really good Linux content. I mean, things on shell scripting, how to use awk or set or grep, very important skills like that. How to create a man page, for instance. There is a question: how can I curate an info page? That's the interesting question, isn't it? There is a question. Can I switch to a different terminal here? No. Local search, what else we got here? A few lives. Popper. I'm not sure what the Popper package is. I wonder if okay, good. Popper also, aka Qualcomm POP3 server. So, Popper that allows you as a post office protocol 3 server used to allow clients to retrieve email from a server. Full name Popper or QP Popper provides email access over POP3. Interesting. Typically used in legacy mail systems for embedded lightweight startups. Common uses. Popper.js. Okay, good. Where would we be without an AI now, okay? So Popper is a POP3 mail manager, okay, a mailman, POP3 mail server. Okay, I think is what it comes down to. Let's do this. Python bindings, very nice, installed. Live mobile device, interesting. Totem PL parser. OS info DB. Qt56 backend. We've been at this for how long now? 31 minutes. Okay, hopefully we'll be through in a couple minutes and be able to boot back up and you can actually see the environment. Okay. Highly recommended Popper data, highly recommended encoding data to display PDF documents with certain encoding and characters. Interesting. Totem PL parser. What is Totem PL parser? There, let's just do this split screen. And let's get rid of this. From GNOME realm, let's see. Totem PL parser is a playlist parser library used primarily for GNOME multimedia applications. Parses various playlist formats. Common formats, M3U, oh, interesting, RSS. Why is it useful? Application like Totem, GNOME videos, and others use it to load and interpret playlist files. Oh, interesting. Okay, good. Let's minimize this. Open this back up. XDG user directories, local search. Tell you what, I'm going to sit there and let this run for your entertainment, and I'm going to be silent for a few moments. Rest assured, I am here. Okay, I am here. So if you have any questions, comments, suggestions, by all means, stop by and drop them in the chat session. Okay, so this got me refilled my water bottle. By the way, I drink what, Milo or Mio. Sugar free, and it has a little caffeine to keep you going throughout the day. Let's see, U-Power. Python bindings installed. uPower, local search, read charge status of iOS devices. I should have actually filmed this, right? And then just simply merged, and merged the two parts together. But let's just let this run. See what's going on. Okay, my notes say there's 5 people watching. Okay, if there's 5 watching, then where are you? Stop by the chat section and give me a word of encouragement here, okay? Do. Compact Greek lexicon. Oh boy. Apparently the first driverless semis have started running regulus routes. You know, no, I'll leave it right there. That's all I'm going to say. Weather Channel debuted 43 years ago, May 2nd. Good grief. Look at how weather forecasting technology has advanced in the last 3 years. Only black and white photos. A very nice photo, a black and white photo of what? Of a gnarly old tree out in the middle of someplace. Very nice definition, nice contrast, very detailed. Oh, here we go. High State Coach Ryan Daly has seen the recruitment of his son RJ pick up after two years at DeSales High School, starting quarterback. Interesting. Oh, today would have been Gus Grissom's 99th birthday. Hey! What is Ketchup? Thanks so much for stopping by. Well, DTOS. It's Arch Linux. If you look at that, if you can see, if you can see my, it's an Arch Linux version kind of on steroids. It was created by Derek Taylor on YouTube. Okay, you can see his Derek Taylor's channel is DistroTube on YouTube. Okay, YouTube.com/@DistroTube. It's a lot. It's all about Linux, Emacs, shell scripting, Arch Linux, tile managers. If you're familiar with Derek DistroTube, by all means, give the guy a subscription. Okay, it's worth following. Okay, yeah, but it's his personal version of Arch Linux. Okay, it has all of his scripts and his personal tweaks and stuff in it. You can find it on if you go to sourceforge.net, and search for DTOS, you'll find it there. You can find the ISO for it. Okay. I'm actually installing this inside of a. It's taken longer than I thought it would take, but I'm installing this inside of a Oracle virtual machine. Okay. By the way, thanks so much for stopping by. I appreciate you taking time out of your day. Just be sure to punch that subscribe button for me, as well as the like button and the bell icon to be notified when I go live. I mentioned I'm also been doing a series of videos on my channel, on the Caribou Data Science channel. Ah, good. Yeah, Arch to me, Arch has a lot to author. Has a lot of really nice features, and they've improved the installation process. And but it's a very good distribution. Never had a problem with it running or installing. Okay, and it's not any harder to install than any other distribution if you really stop and look at it. Personally, I use Slackware. I started using Slackware like back in the late '90s, early 2000s. Okay, back when then I went away from it for a number of years, and the reason I said, you know what, all I'm using Linux for is data science with Python. Okay, so I thought I'll just install Slackware 15.0, update a few packages like Emacs and Python and stuff like that, and then just install Miniconda and do my Python development that way. So I'm back to my Linux roots with Slackware. But Arch, I have absolutely no complaints against Arch Linux whatsoever. Now, you may have saw the news that I think it's called Arca Linux. The developer who maintained that for many years is not going to do it anymore, so it's not going to be developed anymore. So so this may have prompted DT a little bit also to actually publish this, because this is Arch Linux with DT's personal tweaks and script on top of it. Okay, so so it's called a beta, but there's nothing wrong with it. Okay, there's nothing unstable about it that I found so far. So my question for you is, what Linux distribution are you using now? Are you still using Arch Linux? So this installation has been running 44 minutes so far. I didn't realize it would take that long. I may go out when it's done and download the video and cut out the whole middle section to it, Now, if there's anybody else in the background, just jump into the chat session and join catch up with me, okay? on a USB stick. I guess that's one way to do it. I mean, of course, USB sticks are so fast now, so it's no different than actually having the memory installed onto a virtual machine. Or, of course, did you see the news out of Ubuntu that they're going to replace all the GNU core utilities, right? Huh. Okay. All right. Good. Okay. Uh, the news out of Ubuntu is they're going to replace all the GNU core utilities with Rust versions. People are kind of like scratching their head like, well, why are they doing that for? There's nothing wrong with the GNU one now. So the question will be, will the Rust versions be released under the GNU license or something more restrictive? That's the problem. How big is DTOS? Download. Yeah, DTOS is 1.2 gigabytes. Slackware is 4.7. My goodness, 4.7, 4.5 gigabytes. I didn't realize Slackware was out big. But of course, the difference is, is that everything you need to install is part of the ISO. So you're not downloading and installing anything from the internet. Okay. So tell me, what do you use your Linux distros for? Is it just right? Of course, Slackware is essentially, like I said, it's a DVD ISO, right? So every Slackware, all the packages you install with Slackware are part of the ISO. Yeah, I'm gonna come back when this is finally finished installing. We'll download the video. Then they're gonna make a sort of a like a 5-minute version of it, cutting out the middle. I think Yeah, of course, be sure to go out and check out my the other videos on my channel. If you're interested in stock market and stuff like that, or just looking at software, or just looking at me just using software to look at stock data, I have a couple of videos out there. One is for TidyQuant R and TidyQuant, and the other is for an older quant package, the older stock analysis package called Quant Mod. Okay. Uh, So are you a Python guy then? Are you a data science guy? Ketchup, huh? I had no idea this would take this long to install. I don't think it did originally. When I first installed it, maybe a week ago with the older version, it didn't take an hour to install. This is really what did you do, DT? Oh hey, how you doing, my friend? X Millie, okay. We're joined here by Ketchup, another promising young Linux guru. So tell me, my friend, into this feed. Yeah, that's nice. I'm glad to know that some people are actually getting popping up in the recommendations. So we are 49 minutes into an installation of DTOS. Now, if you know what DTOS is, it's basically DistroTube's personal Arch Linux installation. He takes Arch Linux and he adds his own personal scripts and Emacs versions and stuff like that. He adds it in, and he's calling this a beta, but it's not really a beta. It's perfectly stable as it is. And I'll mention that, for instance, he uses Qtile Manager. He uses sort of a personal version of Doom Emacs, if you know what that is. Now, if you don't know who DT is, by all means, go out and search him on the internet, DistroTube on YouTube. A fantastic Linux YouTuber. He's been at it for like 10 years now, I think, or something crazy like that. Lots of videos about Tally Manager, videos about his personal system, videos about how to create man pages, how to use awk and set and grep and stuff. Just lots and lots of really good content out there, okay? He actually started out, when I first watched him, he was using i3WM, he's used Awesome Tally Manager, whatever the suckless Tally Manager is, he's tried that. Now he's kind of, at least for the last few months, he's been with Qtile. That's all right. Of course, let's be honest. Mac OS is basically it's basically probably like BSD Unix is my guess. Okay, that's basically what it is. Okay, and unless I'm mistaken, all the GNU utilities I think are part of Mac OS also, like grep and awk and set and stuff like that, and cut and sort and unique. I think it probably uses GNU utilities. I can never afford a Mac. That's my point. I can never afford a Mac. I'm actually running a 5 or 6 year old HP i5 with 32 gigabytes of RAM and 2 terabytes of hard drive space. I mean, it's like I say, it's 5, 6, 7 years old. The monitor doesn't work so well anymore, so the screen doesn't work so well on my laptop, so therefore I got a nice 15-inch monitor. And I tell you, the two biggest things that helped me the most with this is a larger monitor. I think it's like 15 inches, something like that, and a mechanical keyboard as well as a mouse. The mechanical keyboard has made a huge difference. It's made a huge difference in how I use the system. Of course, I'm not a young guy, so a larger monitor is also very helpful. Okay, so tell me, Muley, are you a data scientist, or data analyst by trade? Are you a programmer, web developer? What exactly is your line of work? And that's the same question to you, Ketchup. Ketchup, what is your line of work? Are you a student or what? You know, back in the late '90s, I still remember a friend of mine back then said, "You know what, man? You got to try Linux, man. It's amazing. He's like, it's got all these programming languages and databases and web developers with it. You got to give it a shot." Student, but I'm looking to software engineering as I've been doing for years now already. Okay, very good. Where do you go to school at? What's your university? I don't know. If you're back there in the background, don't be bashful. Jump into the chat session and join the conversation, okay? Okay, we're at 54 minutes and counting. I don't remember, the last time I tried to install, I don't remember taking an hour to install. I'm British, so I'm doing a degree at my local college. Okay, very good. Excellent. So you're like 5 hours behind me, right? So is it like noon or 1 p.m. in your part of England? "12 a.m. Okay. All right. Very nice. Yeah. I live in the I'm in Central Ohio in the U.S. So right now it's like 7 p.m. And well, yeah, I think, what is it, 4 or 5 hours difference between GMT and Central Ohio, I think, or something like that, depending on. I think it's 5 hours because we're in daylight savings time now. Engage your audience. What does that mean? Interesting. Okay. So, what do you work with in terms of so where are you in your degree program? Is this like your first degree? Would be like a what we call in the U.S. a bachelor's degree, which is your first you get after 4 years of college. Is that what you're working on? You're working on a master's in like software engineering or something like that. Yeah, I'm definitely going to go. Okay. All right. First year. Hmm. Are you actually doing any programming in this first year? Or is there a lot of theory? Uh-oh, Java. Object-oriented programming in Java and scripts in Bash, sure, Bash. Python, absolutely. Are you familiar with the Python installation called Anaconda or Miniconda? Okay, good, very good, yeah, yeah. I use Minicondas on both the Windows and my Linux laptop, my Linux installations. It's the easiest way to as far as I can tell, it's the easiest way to manage packages and projects. Okay. I've never done well. The only thing I've ever done PowerShell is I used it to install a couple things. So what type of stuff are you writing in Python? I can't believe this has taken this long to install. Good grief, DT, what have you done? Okay. Okay, got it. Okay, yep. That's actually the way Python started out. It started out as being a general purpose scripting language, and then data science took off, so it started developing a package like pandas and SciPy and stuff like that in order to fill that gap. You know the the funny story about have you done anything with Perl? Have you taken a look at Perl at all? Perl is an older scripting language, older than Python anyway. Developed by a guy named Larry Walls. His background was linguistics and not system engineering and programming language. Interesting enough. There's kind of a yeah. There's sort of a funny story from Guido Rasmussen, the developer of Python. So, the Perl motto is like there's more than one ways to do things. Okay, that's what the Perl Larry Wall says about Perl, and Guido Rasmussen, the guy who developed Python originally says our motto is there's more than one way to do things, but there's only one good way to do it. Yeah, but the thing is, Perl. I think Perl just got left in the dust when data science really took over the conquered the world. I mean, it's I think it's something like a data library or something, but it's still just a general purpose scripting language. Okay. Now myself, I got interested in data science, data analytics because of sunspots. One of my hobbies is that I was astronomy. Part of the astronomy thing, I was interested in monitoring sunspot activity on the sun. So I downloaded some historical sunspot data, and I started using R in our packages to visualize that. Okay, and that kind of led to one thing to another, and then to other unrelated data, data sets and stuff like that. And I tried forecasting, and now I'm mainly using to look at stock data. Okay, I'm using a package called two packages, but the most recent one I'm using is actually the older of the two. The modern package is called TidyQuant, and the older package, I think it's actually maybe the same author, but it's called QuantMod. Okay, and they're both designed to perform analytic functions on stock data, particularly the various type of stock plots, bar plots and candlestick plots and line plots and stuff like that. Uh, I would say that actually the older package QuantMod is easier to use to do the basic plotting than TidyQuant is, but TidyQuant fits into the Tidyverse universe. Okay, as far as as far as 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 far as R is concerned. Now, if you're interested in uh, analyzing stock data on in Python, you can use packages, of course, pandas, right? You can use Wi-Finance to download the data. Then you can use packages like FinPlot to create really nice sort of interactive plots. And you can of course you can actually use. I actually had ChatGPT write me the Python code to create say a Bellinger bomb plot, okay, and stuff like that, and candlestick plots. I had to write ChatGPT write me the Python code. Now, there's also another package called like MPL Finance or something like that. I certainly hope we're almost through with with my quant life expectancy. Have you looked at the IBIS package for Python yet? It essentially allows you to run Python code against databases. Okay, and the location is IBIS project. Okay, and you can install it either with pip or with conda. Okay, and you can install for various backends. The default backend is DuckDB. If you don't know what, yeah, it's scary good anymore. It really is quite amazing. Yeah, and I would say Gemini's pretty close now. The free version of Gemini is pretty close. Uh, yeah, but what was I saying? How much longer is this going to go on? I mean, honestly, we've been at this an hour and 3 minutes. So you don't have to worry. When this is all done, I'm going to download the video. I'm going to cut out I'm going to cut out about 3/4 of the video, right, and reduce it down to like a 5-minute video or something like that. I could swear last time I used this, like last Friday or something, it didn't take an hour to install this. I don't know what DT's been up to, but yeah, but like I say, ChatGPT and Gemini AI, and even Claudia is actually, there's another interesting project out there called Quadratic HQ. And what they're doing is they created an AI-driven spreadsheet program. But I don't know. Not because it's still scrolling, so it's still saying it's installing stuff, I think. Now, I suppose it's always possible. I may have ran out of space. I gave it 50 gigabytes of space. Huh. Well, what we do, we'll watch and see if something happens here. See if this changes down there. Obviously, if nothing changes down here in like 10 minutes, you could be right. It hasn't scrolled in 25 minutes. I wonder if I ran out of space. Well, that's not good. Oh, that's not good. I'll give it a couple minutes just to make sure. If it doesn't if it doesn't work, uh, I'll end the session and start over again and see what I can do maybe a second time. I certainly hope he didn't go crazy on this and add like 25 gigabytes of code and stuff like that, programs to it or something like that. Because like I said, I gave it 50 gigabytes, okay? And if it takes more than 50 gigabytes, I'm not going to install it. I don't care. I'm going to stick with my Slackware. I wonder if I ran out of space. Tell you what, I'm going to bring this session to a close. I think you're probably right. I think it froze and I may have just ran out of space. I'm not quite sure. I just wonder if I ran out of space. Anyway, hey, thanks for stopping by. I'm going to bring this session to a close here now, since apparently we didn't have a successful install. Alrighty. Hey, it's Muley. Good luck with your studies. Catch up. Thanks for stopping by. And thanks for the subscriptions and the likes. Okay, so let's see what happens here. I wonder if it's possible to see how much space has been used. Okay. Hey, thanks for sharing a few moments of your time. We hope to catch you on another video soon, okay?